What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today is Arsenal therapy, people. It is back, and I didn't think it would be back this early in the season, and I did not think it would be here after Bournemouth. Bournemouth. What's a Bournemouth? Bournemouth. Oh, dear. Not Man City, not Liverpool, not even Chelsea. Bournemouth. We lost to Bournemouth. I have to say it out loud. This is therapy. We have to, I have to accept things first before I can move forward and deal with them. We lost to Bournemouth. We lost to a beach resort, people. Marbella. In fact, it ain't Marbella. It's Skegness. It's Bognor Regis. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But this is the real life matrix. I'm telling you now, Bournemouth! You man lost to Bournemouth, fam. This stadium holds 11,000. That's not even one side of the Arsenal stadium. We could knock down 3 sides of the Arsenal stadium, leave the North Bank there alone, and it will be bigger than their whole stadium. And then man rolled us over and tickled our bellies, I don't understand. You're right. We lost to Mablethorpe and Skegness and them, man. They turned up with sandcastles and dunked on us, people. It's mad. It's I still can't believe it. And you might be thinking, why has he got this little smirk on his face? Because genuinely, I have to find solutions to dealing with being an Arsenal fan, and often I need to laugh my way through it. Big up to everyone who tuned in last night, AFTV. I went on there. Robbie was doing up lawyer, solicitor settings for Arteta. And I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. People are saying it's one defeat, don't lose, your minds over it. And I get that. But first of all, I didn't expect Arsenal to win every game this season, right? I thought we would lose games this season. There's a way of losing, and there's a level of opposition that you should be potentially losing to. You don't lose to Bournemouth. And we didn't just lose to Bournemouth. We got bopped. And people can talk about 10 men all they like, people. But we conceded 1 goal in 45 minutes against Manchester City with 10 men. Along with Real Madrid, they're the best team in world football. We conceded 1 goal. But Bournemouth cut us apart. And scored 2 great. Their first goal, was outstanding. That's the best set piece I've seen all season. Do you know what I mean? So there's means and ways. I honestly, when Saliba got sent off, and maybe this is more fool me, people. Maybe I've got too much belief in this team now. I still thought we'd win that game with 10 men. I thought 10 men's going to be difficult, but it's Bournemouth. They're not that good. They're not that good. And Sam, yeah, you're right. Liverpool lost to Forest, but again, they dominated that game. If Arsenal dominate a game and get sucker punched and lose, I would still be fuming. I'd probably still be going mad in this room. But sometimes you get that in football. It's understandable. You've battered a team. You've missed your chances. They've hit you with a sucker punch. It does happen. It doesn't make it any easier. But at least you can have some sort of logical understanding around it. We're self-harming, people. This is sabotage. We're punching ourselves in the face. We're literally uppercutting ourselves on the jaw. I don't want to win the league. They don't want to win it. There's a mentality problem. There's a mentality problem at this football club. And I genuinely believe this football club have accepted losing for so long, they now don't know how to win. This football club have accepted losing for so long that they do not know how to win. And what I mean by that, I don't mean losing as in losing game after game after game. I mean, we now celebrate finishing second. We applaud finishing second. It started with Wenger with that top 4 is a trophy nonsense that he brought into football. And Arsenal ran with that. And they're still running with that. Second, they applaud each other and pat each other on the back. They think that's a huge achievement. We're the nearly men. We are a spicy Tottenham. The things we used to criticise Poch and Tottenham for, we are now in that same category. And we're accepting it. We're not saying we're second. Come on, we're so close to getting Man City. Drive over the finish line. Go and have that window. Go and get that striker. Go and get that attacking midfielder. Get us over the finish line. We sit there, have the meatiest transfer window, and big accounts pretend it was some top quality window that's going to take us over the finish line. We're actually lying to ourselves. People who've hardly ever seen Calafiori kick a ball outside of the Euros saying, oh, he's a top player, what a top signing. When have you watched him play? I love football as much as anyone else. How often have you watched Bologna? How many times have you watched Bologna play football for 90 minutes? How do you know how good Calafiori is? Mikel Merino, oh, he's a great player. Oh, he's won the Euros. Yeah, he was on the bench the whole tournament. Mustafi won the World Cup. I'm not saying Merino's as bad as Mustafi, but how good is he really? Sociedad, maybe you watch them a little bit more. And then Raheem Sterling. Listen, I've done up Gaza and Jamaica tax as much as the next man, but Sterling ain't the Raheem Sterling that was at Man City scoring 20 goals a season. We're getting Sterling on the decline. So let's be honest, people. That window, I gave that window 5 out of 10. I actually think it was lower than that now. But that window did not make Pep Guardiola sit back and say, yo, we're in trouble. It didn't make him sit back and say, yo, we're in trouble. They've done serious business. Not like when Liverpool went and got Van Dijk and Alisson, who just lifted them to the next level instantly. We didn't. We broke even in the summer transfer window. We spent nothing. We made 100 million, spent 100 million. It wasn't enough to win us the title. And I'm sitting here right now saying we ain't winning the title. In fact, I'm sitting here right now, and this isn't reactionary. I'm being genuinely honest. I'm not even sure we'll finish top 2 this season. I'm not even sure we will finish top 2. Never mind win the league. Slot will have difficult days, but Liverpool look strong. Liverpool have got a mentality that's now used to winning. Van Dijk knows how to win. Trent knows how to win. Salah knows how to win. Alisson knows how to win. We got a group of players that look like they're used to being knocked out of tournaments and finishing second. They don't know how to get over the finish line. And I don't like it. I don't like what is going on. We've put ourselves in a fantastic situation over the last few years to say, go on. Go and get over the line now. Go and win the Premier League. One Premier League could change the whole direction of this football club. You might force Pep out. You might go and win 2 or 3 titles in the next 4 or 5. Who knows what could happen. But on the flip side, this project could fall apart if Saliba ends up at Madrid and Saka decides to run down his contract. And then other things start to happen. Listen, people who say it's one game, you're overreacting. I don't think it is. I think there's a bigger picture in the background. I think there were a lot of warning signs that told us we were going to lose a game like this season. 2-0 up against Leicester, you end up at 2-2 and you have to fight your way over the finish line. Right? And then you go 1-0 down against Southampton at home and you have to fight your way back. Yeah, sunny afternoon at the Emirates, you'll get away with that. But the warning signs have been there. It is what it is. We'll see. Listen, the club have to bounce back. Champions League tomorrow night. They've got to win that game. And then Sunday is absolutely huge. And I think it's a must-win game, honestly. If you said to me now, will you take a draw against Liverpool? I say no. I'll turn it down. I'll turn it down. Genuinely. It's all or nothing for me in terms of that game. If we lose to Liverpool, we're 7 points behind them. And remember, this is the home game. I think you've got to beat the other big teams when you're at home. Away from home, yeah, draw can be a decent result at Anfield or the Etihad. But I think we've got to beat Liverpool. And now we've got no Saliba. So Saliba getting sent off didn't just damage us for that game. It's potentially damaged us for the weekend. Fit said it's not the first time we've seen Arsenal have that stinking attitude against weaker teams. It's plain the manager sends them out that way. The problem is Arteta. He is not good enough. I hear you. They've shown signs of that arrogance a few times. You could also say the team selection is the first part of it. Calafiori F1. City have been scraping wins though. They have, but they haven't had that slip up yet, have they? If Arsenal had scraped past Bournemouth, I'd be sitting here again saying, still haven't played well, but at least we won. eventually it will catch up with us, but at least we won. And let's face it, Rodri's out long term, and they are winning. Emirates at the weekend, said Marcel. I'm actually not even looking forward to that game right now. Somebody just put a comment there. I wanted to read that. The comments are flying in. Here we go. M. Hay said, Curtis, I respect you, bro. Did you expect us to go unbeaten all season? No, I didn't. I honestly didn't. Can I reverse the question to you? Did you expect Arsenal to lose to Bournemouth? That's my question back to every Arsenal fan who thinks I'm overreacting. I didn't expect us to go unbeaten all season. I thought we'd lose games this season. But I didn't expect us to lose to Bournemouth. I really didn't. And I think the way we lost was shocking. Miles also, why so negative? It's only one loss. It happens. Because you say it's one loss, and then when we lose again in 4 or 5 weeks' time, you say it's only one loss again, and then before you know it, you've lost 4 games, you've drawn a few games, and this is what I want to say about Manchester City and what they do to you, and what they've done to Liverpool over the years, and what they've done to us over the last couple of years. When you draw a game in a title race against Manchester City, that is pretty much a defeat. Unless maybe you've gone to Anfield or the Etihad or somewhere. But if you draw, in my opinion, against any side outside of the so-called Big Six, it's almost a defeat against Manchester City in a title race. Because the standards are that high. 91 points they got last season. And I didn't even think they were at their best. So you can say it's only one loss, but we drew against Brighton when we should have won. We even drew against Manchester City when we should have won. And we've still got to go to Anfield. And we've had warning signs against Leicester and Southampton. This has been coming, people. If we'd been playing well and that came out of nowhere, I'd say, wow, I'm shocked. I'm not even that shocked at what happened on Saturday because we saw it against Southampton. We saw it against Leicester. So, and let's be honest, did Arsenal put up enough of a fight in that game? Or did they just give up and look like a team that thought, oh, we're down to 10 men, it's impossible, and run with that excuse? I'm not having it. I'm not having it, people. That defeat on Saturday was an absolute disgrace from top to bottom of Arsenal Football Club. It was a disgrace, people, as Drogba said when Barcelona scored last minute Iniesta. The football club need to look at themselves in the mirror from top to bottom. The owners, you did not have enough ambition in this summer transfer window to try and win the Premier League. You sat there, had this meaty transfer window and just said, go again, Mikel. There's your new contract. Make sure you deliver us top 4 so the money keeps ticking in and the profit keeps ticking in. We also know the fan base won't go that crazy as long as you get Champions League football. Then you're looking at Edu. Is he negotiating good enough deals? Is he good enough at his job? Flying out to places. Why do transfers take 6-7 weeks to get over the line? We knew Mourinho was signing for about 2 months. We knew Calafiore was signing for 2 months. Look how long it took to get those deals over the line. Then you look at Mikel Arteta. The tactics were an absolute shambles. A shambles on Saturday. You embarrassed us for no reason. You found the solution in midfield. Rice, Partey, Trossard. There's your midfield. Go and beat Brighton. Oh no, I can't do that. I have to play my new signing, Mikel Merino. Oh, and because he played a couple games for Spain attacking midfield, I'm going to force him into the Arsenal team in midfield. This ain't Spain. This ain't international football. This is the Premier League at Bournemouth Beach in front of 11,000 fans. He looked lost. He looked lost. We've gone into Merino mode today. You're taking over from Xhaka mode, and we called it Jorginho mode. It's now Merino mode. How slow did he look on that football pitch? To be honest, you stitched him up. He shouldn't have been playing in that role anyway. So he's got to look at himself, and then you've got to look at the players as well. Because I didn't see enough fight. I didn't see any creativity. I saw no invention. It's like we're banned from shooting outside the area. Arsenal never just take pot shots from 25 yards. We've always got to score the perfect goal. It's got to be pure tiki-taka. We've been boring at times this season. I'm going to be honest. Outside of the PSG game, 15, 20 minutes against Man City and about 45 minutes against Wolves. We've looked meaty this season. And the thing that was so good about us last season, the defence, is now starting to look flimsy. We're conceding chances. We're conceding goals. We actually had the best defence, spent more money on the defence. Now the defence looks worse. Make that make sense. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. 8 goals conceded in 8 games. Liverpool have conceded 3. Nottingham Forest have conceded 6. They've got a better defence than Arsenal. Nottingham Forest, my hometown club, 6 goals conceded. Arsenal, best defence in the league last season, 8 goals conceded. Not good enough. Absolutely, the whole football club should be ashamed of that performance. And I feel for the fan base. And there's people in the chat having a go. No problem. I'll take it. I'll be the bad guy. If I need to be the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy. But I'm telling you now, this football club needs to wake up. Because if they don't handle things properly this season, we're going to go downhill real quick. We're going to go downhill real quick. I'm telling you now. Saliba and them will be out of it. They'll go elsewhere. They won't lose for long. But we're going to talk about it. Big up AFC, new member. Big up yourself, bro. Appreciate that. Fizzy, are the Madrid links weighing on Saliba? Possibly. I actually don't think Saliba's been that great this season. I honestly don't. And I love Saliba. Casual the other week, where he didn't close down that shot. It just, I don't know. Are things on his mind? Remember, he keeps going on international duty. Surrounded by Real Madrid players. Mendy, Mbappe, Camavinga, Tchouameni. Are they getting in his ear on international duty? Rudiger's doing interviews. It would be the perfect signing. Maybe his mind is starting to get distracted. He's a young man, picking up good money. Real Madrid want him. Boy, man, you know, he's feeling nice right now. You know, like when you get offered that big job, good money, you start going into your job like, yo, I don't even really need to be here right now, you know, because I got that offer on the side. So you better talk to me nice right now. You know, they start talking to you with disrespect. You say, yo, man, I got this waiting for me over here. You better relax. Maybe he is. He needs to learn. He needs to learn. Hopefully it's a one-off. Richard said, I cannot be asked with the Threadmill Mustafi and Tapas Jorginho. Sack Arteta, sack hairdo, it's done. Seen so many fans slagging off the red card. Victim mentality. We will never proceed with this softness. Listen, just quickly about the Reds in general. Now, obviously we saw that toss-in for Chelsea. Did something very similar and got a yellow card. Listen, we know there's no consistency. We know these referees are poor. The victim mentality will get you nowhere. You can, honestly, in life, you can't run around saying it's not fair, it's not my fault, and blaming everybody else. That's what losers say. That's what losers say, people. Oh, it's not my fault. You've got to take responsibility for your own actions. The referee can't give you a red card unless you do something that gives him a decision to make. Saliba's was a red card. It's as simple as that. Whether that tossing guy should have got a red as well, if he gets a red card for Chelsea, does that sort out Saliba's red card? Do we get to restart our game? We don't. He still gets sent off. So I don't get too caught up in all that. The refs are shocking in this country. We know that. They have to change it. They probably should start getting refs from around the world. But Saliba gave the referee a decision to make. So we have to stop crying on Twitter about referees. That's all I see with Arsenal. We lost the game to Bournemouth. I went online and all I saw was people crying about the ref. Talk about Trossard's back pass. Talk about Saliba pulling him back. Talk about the starting lineup. Talk about the transfer window. Crying about the ref won't bring a league title to this football club. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as... I never heard Henry talking about, you know, refs costing us titles when he was at Arsenal. If you're good enough, you'll win the league regardless of the ref. We need these owners out, but how? They're going nowhere. They're going absolutely nowhere. Why? Because this fan base, not all of them, a lot of them, think they're a good ownership. And when Daniel Ek came to buy the club, whether he was the right owner or not, the fan base spoke with their feet. They put no pressure on the Cronkies. A buyer publicly turned up to buy this football club, and the fan base did nothing about it and sat there. In fact, the problem is Kroenke has the money. That's what makes it even more worse. We don't want Kroenke out because Kroenke hasn't got the money to take us back to the top. He doesn't want to spend the money. He's not desperate to win the league title. So that's the problem. Right, let me skip through these quick, and then we'll go to player ratings. The Cardinal sin was going defensive, 10-man down. I didn't expect us to lose. We increased our odds for a draw. A draw to Bournemouth is a loss. Might as well have kept our attackers on the pitch. I agree with you, mate. Do you know the stupid thing about that game? Saliba gets sent off, so you've got a decision to make. Do I go 3 at the back, leave the midfield and the attack the same and try and win the game? And hope that a back 3 will be good enough, right? He decides not to, and he says, I want a back 4. I want the defensive solidarity. So you bring on Kivior, a player that we tried desperately to sell in the summer. And then we conceded 2 goals, and we had 1 shot on target. The Martinelli shot, which we're going to talk about him. So you went defensive and still conceded 2, and you only had 1 shot on target. So you went for the defensive route and it still didn't work. You might as well have gone for it. And you took our pace off as well. You know, you took our pace off. We had no pace in the front line. Doctor said Arsenal must refund travelling fans. They should, but they won't. Because they're probably not even moaning about it. Had a good day out at Bournemouth on the beach, you know. It's just a blip, they'll say. Mohammed said, when we lose, can't enjoy football. Couldn't watch any game except the L and keep it moving. Yeah, I hated football all weekend. I didn't even watch the Liverpool-Chelsea game. I saw the highlights. I didn't want nothing to do with it. It's footy, not soccer, said the annoying part of that performance was playing drunk Trossard out wide, not taking him off after the red. In my opinion, Raheem and Marino were calm. Marino looked like he was running backwards. Raheem's end product was lackluster, to say the least. He actually looked quite lively, but then he got in good situations and his end product was terrible. But at least he looked like he had a threat, but Trossard was woeful. Ryan said, offensively, we've been poor all season. I actually find us boring to watch. We are. You're not lying. We're boring at the moment. When we win, we accept it. We sweep it under the carpet. Yeah, we weren't that good today, but we won. Okay, keep it moving. When we lose and play like that, we absolutely stink out the joint. Richard said, I'm really worried with Rice that we've paid 110 mil for a Cockney Lee Cattermole. We can't be saying 110 mil can only be a ball winner. Well, he's trying to turn him into that ball player, but so far it's been an absolute disaster. And Jonah said, Arteta and Fredu out. 5 FA Cups in 20 years. What a joke of a club. 1 FA Cup in 5 years as well. Yeah, and that third kit, man, Monsters Inc. settings. It really is. Listen, let's get into player ratings and then we'll look at the solution. I always like to look at the solution. Some of you will tune in and think he's just having a meltdown. It's problem after problem. It's only 1 game. We will seek the solution, but I'm concerned because I don't think we're playing that well this season. Our attack is not functioning that well. And now the solid defence that we had is starting to concede too many chances. We're conceding goals on a regular basis, even against the struggling teams. I want to get through this quickly because this is just an absolute joke. I honestly still can't believe we lost this match. I'm finding it really difficult to understand what happened. We lost to Bournemouth. We spent 750 million to lose to Bournemouth. We could have probably bought the whole town for that. And the sand and the beach and all the water out of the sea. 7.75 billion. You can't beat Bournemouth. I don't care if you got 10 men. Look at the first 30 minutes. We stunk out the place with 11 players. We stunk it out even more with 10. Real talk, we lost to a beach. I can't believe it. Thierry, Dennis, Tony, Patrick, Bournemouth. Nah, man, you don't lose to Bournemouth. I'm sorry. You don't, man. You concede 1 goal against Man City in 45 minutes with 10 men. They're the best team. So how are we conceding 2 in 45 minutes against Bournemouth? We lost to the Beach Boys. Bro, Fish and Chips FC turned us over. I can't believe it. We lost to Bournemouth, fam. Please, Curtis, talk about Nwaneri not getting an opportunity. Mate, you should know by now, young players don't get a chance at Arsenal. And you can talk about Saka and them, but they were already promoted by Emery. Bournemouth, you know. Right, let's get into this. Get it over with. Ryan Christie and Justin Kluivert. This is when you know you're getting old. I used to watch Patrick Kluivert. Now we're watching Justin Kluivert. 13 shots, 4 on target, 48% possession. They were the better team. We had 6 shots, 1 on target, 52% possession. Just a pathetic performance. Absolutely embarrassed by the whole thing. 4 corners. Set piece FC didn't save us this time, did it? Third in the league, 4 points behind Liverpool. If we lose to Liverpool this weekend, honestly, without sounding dramatic, which at times I am dramatic when it comes to Arsenal, if we lose this weekend, in my opinion, we're out the title race. We're done. Psychologically and mathematically, they'll have to keep going. But if we get beat this Sunday, I think we're out the title race. I'll tell you why. That will put Liverpool 7 points ahead of us with a better goal difference. Manchester City this week play Southampton, who are the worst team in the Premier League. And they're playing them at home. So triple captain Haaland this weekend. They are going to batter Southampton. So realistically, Man City are going to end this weekend on 23 points. And if Liverpool beat us, we are not recovering from 7 points behind Liverpool and 6 points behind Man City. We were 8 points ahead of Man City and didn't win the league. Never mind 6 points behind. But not everyone's ready for that conversation. Not everyone's ready for that. So, you know, this player ratings, oh my days. Them man, look at their team. And some of these are decent players, you know, but they got Kepa in goal. They got Kepa. Kepa, you know, people. If I ask everyone in the community, yo, what do you think about Kepa at Chelsea? You'd say this guy is a joke of a goalkeeper. And we couldn't score past Kepa. Like I can't believe. Yeah, you're right. There's a couple good players there. Semenyo was dangerous. There's a few, man. But I still cannot believe it. I'm so angry with this team right now. Honestly, even looking at their names, I can't stand them. I can't believe what they did to our weekend. David Raya, mate, that is the worst game I've seen you play for Arsenal. Like, collectively. He's had games where he's made big mistakes, got lobbed and done silly things. But the whole game, honestly, David Donald Trump Raya. Because I thought the president was in goal. Because he arrived and just waved at all sides of the stadium. Hi, everyone. Hi. Oh, I've kicked the ball out of play. Sorry, my bad. Oh, I've missed the ball completely. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to miss that. How many mistakes did that guy make? He put up a picture on Friday saying she said yes. He asked his girlfriend to marry him. She said yes. They definitely had a long weekend because this guy, Raya Nephews, as we was calling him, he was steaming. They need to breathalyze him. You can't get away with that performance. Absolute stinker. Raya apologised more than J. Cole. Bro, he didn't want nothing to do with it. He walked over to the fans and gave them the shirt. Honestly, they should have threw the shirt back at him. Said, take it back. I don't want it. Maybe he did his ligaments when he proposed to her. Maybe he had a knee injury. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. Shocker. The only thing I let him get away with, none of the goals were his fault. The corner was outrageous. The penalty, I mean, he gave away the penalty, but listen, he was probably drunk, honestly. Let's go to the back four. Oh, God. This back four, man. I mean, only one out of the back four. Let's talk about Ben White. Oh, God. He does an interview with Ben Foster. I'm not really interested in football. I don't watch it when I get home. Blah, blah, blah. He sounds like the least bothered footballer you've ever met in your life. You don't mind it when he's playing well because you're like, well, who cares if he watches football when he plays like that? But when he plays like that he did the other day, you kind of think maybe you should watch football and understand the game a little bit more. They need to get him to Dubai quickly. I give him 3 out of 10. Do you know what? I kind of just feel like sweeping through the whole team. I don't think they even deserve individual conversations, to be honest. I'm just disgusted with all of them. Ben White and Calafiori. Calafiori, yeah, he was. They were all rubbish. They were all rubbish. Let's just be totally honest. Saliba, I'm giving Saliba a 1. You cost us the game. You might have cost us Liverpool. Ben White, you got cooked. Calafiori, I still don't know if he's good. Just have him modelling on the website. Gabriel gets the armband. We have a shocker. Partey and Rice deserve a bit of credit. They were 2 of the better players. Declan Rice in the 8 role, it's a horror show. I'm sorry. He hasn't done anything since we've tried to get him attacking. They said give West Ham more money. We've robbed them. No, they've robbed us. In the 8 role, we've been robbed for Declan Rice. That is Declan couscous. That ain't rice. That's burnt rice. It's stuck to the pan. It's a mushy mess. Declan Rice in the 8 role is daylight robbery. We've been robbed. In the 6 role, quality. In the 8, not happening. Partey, yeah, he played all right. We'll give him a 5. The front 4. The front 4. I mean, first of all, did we even have a front 4? Raheem Sterling. I mean, Jamaican born, so the culture defends him. You know, he was good at City, he was good at Liverpool. It's a loan. I mean, is he even better than Reece Nelson? Like, genuinely. He hasn't had a lot of time on the pitch, but I'd have rather had Movado on the right. Or Vibes Cartel. Cartel did more on the prison wing than Raheem Sterling did on that Bournemouth wing the other day. The end product was just... It's a good job there's no option to buy. Genuinely. And I like Raheem Sterling. I met him a few times. But, brother, I ain't going to cap. I ain't going to cap, bro. There's a reason Chelsea dashed him out on loan. Genuinely. Put Movado out wide, man. I'm telling you. Like, jeez, man. Leandro Trossard. Jesus. I mean, Bournemouth should have given him the Man of the Match award. Because he played a through ball to Evan Nielsen that got Saliba sent off. Trossard is just stuck on the waltzers going round and round. He starts a game, doesn't play well, gets dropped, comes off the bench, scores a clutch goal. We're calling him Bossard, all of that stuff, doing the celebration. Then he starts, then he looks rubbish, then he gets dropped. He's a super sub and that's it. All play him attacking midfield. On the left, he hasn't got the pace. He hasn't got the pace. Look at the best left wingers, they're quick. If they're not quick, they're very skillful and intelligent. Trossard, no. Not on the left, I'm afraid. 2 out of 10. He needs breathalyzing as well. Stella R. Trossard. Marino. I'm sorry, people. I have to. I have to. I don't like being too harsh, but at times, you've got to be. Let's not write him off. There might be a player there. I need somebody to explain Mikel Marino's first start in the Premier League. I need somebody to explain it to me. Because I'm confused. I thought this guy was amazing on the ball and, you know, Euros winner and stuff. Because I'm not exaggerating when I say that is one of the worst debuts I have seen for Arsenal. One of the worst. I'm trying to think of a worse one that I've seen in recent years. That was a horror show of a performance. Horror show. Like, he looked like he didn't know what he was doing. Like, I didn't understand that. He couldn't run. He couldn't pass. He looked knackered. I thought they were going to have to put a ventilator on the pitch and give him oxygen. He looked shattered. He looks like he needs 2 weeks off to get over that game. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. That guy, that was a horror show of a performance. I called him Halloween Sterling, but Marino, I mean, this was a nightmare on Elm Street. Let me tell you that. One of the worst debuts I've ever seen for Arsenal. I'm not even I'm giving him 0. I'm not marking him. He gets no mark. 0. I can't remember him doing anything in the game apart from breathing heavily. He looked shattered. I'm not writing him off, but yeah, he did. He looked like he was in Timberland boots in the middle of New York in winter, trying to run through midfield. I said, "Raw, what's happening? Is he in slow motion?" And Havertz, I mean, listen. Kai Havertz, I mean, oh my days. Why didn't we buy a striker? Big up Dre in the chat, sending me videos of Osimhen scoring bicycle kicks. Do you know what I mean? Scoring bicycle kicks. Gyökeres just, does what Gyökeres does. What's he got? 11 goals in 8 games. Nothing special. I mean, Havertz decided Halloween is his thing as well, because he turned into a ghost. Not ghost out of power. Casper. He disappeared. No away goal for Havertz this season. Sunny afternoon at the Emirates. You get all this. All the giddy celebration. No problem. No away goal from Kai Havertz this season. So outside that comfort zone of your own home environment with all the fans and the sun and all of that, you ain't okay, cool. But people think he's going to score 20 league goals this season. Tell you what, you might be waiting a long time for that one, mate. I'm telling you. I will shamelessly celebrate him when he scores and do the odd, green screen to give him my support, because I want the guy to do well while he's in an Arsenal shirt. But we need to be brutally honest. This guy is not the answer. He's a good player. Technically good movement, creates chances. He's not good enough to be Arsenal's starting striker for the whole season. And he's not justifying being the highest paid player at Arsenal Football Club. The third highest paid player in the history of Arsenal Football Club, behind Mesut Ozil and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, is Kai Havertz. Is he justifying that wage? And I pity him in some sense, because you're an attacking midfielder playing up front, so I shouldn't even expect it. But why are we doing that? Why are we playing an attacking midfielder up front and expecting him to do the business? We need a striker. But they won't acknowledge it. Because our 2 top earners are Havertz and Jesus, and none of them are good enough to be our number 9. We're spending £500,000 a week on 2 strikers who aren't good enough to be our striker. That money should be spent elsewhere. The subs... Why did I just click off that screen? Let me just finish, actually, by talking. I'm only going to talk about one substitute. There's only one substitute that I'm going to talk about. There's only one. And you know who it is, and you know why I'm talking about him. It's the partner of the twerk champion of the world. Let's have a talk about this guy. £27 million. £27 million for this guy. Oh, two subs actually that I'm talking about. You're right. £27 million for the substitute who got substituted. Have we seen that since Tavares? Subbing off the sub. Breaking news, Saka and Timber have not trained with Arsenal today. Oh, more good news. It's just flowing in at the moment, isn't it? It's all flowing in. Kivior, my friend. Again, I'm not going to blame you. It's not your fault. We all know you're not good enough to play for Arsenal. But the manager persists with you. He brings him on for defensive solidarity. That guy is absolutely awful. They should have let. They just fly him to Italy, drop him off somewhere in Italy, and just turn the plane round and fly him back. Sometimes Arsenal signings should be investigated. 27 million on Jakub Kivior. Why? Why did you decide to do that? Why does the guy hardly ever play? Who decided to spend 35 million on Fabio Vieira? Hardly kicked a ball at Arsenal. Now we've loaned him. Pablo Mari. Why did you sign him? What did you see in him? Why did you give Cedric a 4-year contract when Southampton were releasing him? Why? Why do we never ask these questions? Because some of these signings look dodgy to me. They genuinely look like dodgy signings, like tax write-offs. I don't get it. He gets a 0. He was Bournemouth's best player after Trossard. And then, somebody explain this to me. Someone explain this to me. Because I have no words for this picture. I have no words. I've tried to defend this guy. If you're a regular on this channel, I have been capping for Martinelli. I'm a fan of Martinelli. I don't hide it. But I'm sorry. There's only so much I'm prepared to accept. What the hell was that finish? He's got the whole near post to aim at, first of all. Half the goal's empty. And if you are going to open up your body, just curl it round him. You basically hit it straight at him. This guy, honestly, I like Martinelli, but he's winding me up. He's just winding me up. I don't know what it is. It's Ricky Martinelli. Missanelli, as you're calling him. I used to think Martinelli was a good finisher, but our attack is a big problem. I'm telling you now. Do you know something? I'm gonna hold my hands up. I'm gonna hold my hands up about something. And do you know what I realised over the weekend is our attack is based on Saka. We are Saka FC right now. We're Saka FC. We can't attack without Saka. We don't know what to do. We can't figure out how to score without him in the team. All we do, when you look at Arsenal play, we spam the ball down the right-hand side, Ben White, Odegaard, and it always ends up with Saka. Saka cuts inside and crosses it in, or he cuts inside and he tries to shoot to the far post. That's our attack. If you said describe Arsenal's attack, that's our attack. Get the ball to Saka, cut inside, whip it in. Cut inside, try and put it in the far corner. We don't look like we know how to score when Saka's not on the pitch. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Martinelli gets a 0. He's from Peru. He can't be Brazilian. Check his passport. To be honest, I just want to get away from that game because the game is an absolute disgrace. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe we lost that game. And Mikel Arteta, mate, you get a 0. You get a 0. Because you turned up. You underestimated them. You played a midfield that should have never been on the pitch. All you needed to do was play Trossard attacking midfield and leave the midfield. And I'm convinced we would have won that game. I think we would have won that game. But you forced Mourinho into the team because your little pet project. And you felt he had to play. And you cost us the game. And now we've lost to Bournemouth. Now we're under loads of pressure. Now Saliba's suspended. And now if we lose to Liverpool, we're in an absolute mess. So, listen. And this needs to change, by the way. We're going to talk about the solution moving forward. This. Since Mikel Arteta got the Arsenal job, Arsenal have had more red cards than anybody in the Premier League. 18 red cards since December 2019. The next closest teams are Everton and Wolves with 13. Chelsea with 11. Brighton with 11. I mean, I don't even look at Arsenal and think Arsenal are a mad, physical, aggressive team. So why are we getting red cards every other week? Yeah, sometimes the referees are poor. But there's got to be a discipline problem at this football club as to why we're getting red cards every other week. What's the problem? Kicking the ball away, pulling players down, stupid red cards that cost us results. Every team that we've dropped points against this season has been in a game where a player's been sent off. We drew with Brighton, Declan Rice. We drew with Man City, Trossard. Now we've lost to Bournemouth, Saliba. 3 different players. No one's learning from the mistake. Where's the leadership from the manager? Where's the leadership from the captain? Or the 5 captains, apparently, that we've got. Why is nobody saying, listen, no stupid red cards today. We need 11 players on the pitch to win the game. Time after time, they're doing stupid things. And we're blaming the refs all the time. Get on with it. You're supposed to be elite. We should not have lost that game. I don't care if you got 10 players. They should have minimum got out of there with a draw. Because we had 4 defenders on the pitch still. With Kivior, although he didn't actually play like a defender. You can't win league titles if you act like that. You need discipline. You need control. You need maturity. You don't win titles like that. How many times do Man City get players sent off? It's stupid. I honestly think the Arsenal team, one of their biggest problems, I think they're too emotional. I think the Arsenal team are a very emotional team. When I watch Manchester City play, they're almost like robots. And I think that's a reflection of Pep. I know we joke about it and say Haaland's a robot and this, that, the other. But I honestly think that mentality comes from Pep. You lot stay calm. Yeah? Don't show too much emotion. Win the game, handle business, get out of there. Arsenal are a very emotional team. We're very emotional, and I think that works against us. Every now and then it might get you through a big game and that emotion and you connect with the fans, but I think over 38 games, that emotion spills over into red cards, into defensive mistakes, into missing big chances. And I don't think they have enough of that. You have to be calm when the pressure's on. And I think when the pressure's on, this team are still very emotional and immature, and I think we lack leadership. We have a good team, but you need more than a good team to win a title. TV1 said, Curtis, I heard you say in the match stream that if people need a break from Arsenal, they should, and I agree. They've been letting us down for 20 years. Eventually, it does get to you. Bro, honestly, like, it mashes up. Like, I was looking forward to watching Chelsea-Liverpool. And I was going to do a watch-along for that. I said, right, you know what? I'm in Sunday afternoon. I'll do a watch-along. I didn't even watch the game. I didn't want nothing to do with football. I don't want anything to do with football until Arsenal win their next game. And even if they win tomorrow, I'm still going to be annoyed about what happened on Saturday. They need to beat Liverpool. That's the only way they're going to get me psychologically over that result. They ruined the whole footballing weekend for me. And yeah, it does have its toll on you. I try and disconnect from it, but it's very difficult when you're making content about it. But yeah, I don't blame anybody that takes a break from Arsenal. Because they let us down a lot of the time, to be honest. You know? When's the last time as an Arsenal fan you thought, wow, they had a transfer window that I'm really excited about? Or, you know, we haven't even been in a cup final for years. Give the fans something back. You said trust the process. You said phase this and phase that. Where there should be light at the end of the tunnel that should lead to success. So, but listen, let's talk about the solution. Arsenal have a game of football tomorrow night against Shakhtar Donetsk, and we've got to win that. First and foremost, we've got to win that game of football. Champions League, we've started with a draw and a win. PSG and Atalanta. If we win tomorrow, we're in good shape of the Champions League run. We then obviously play Liverpool on Sunday, which I think is, like I said, I think we have to win that game now because of what happened Saturday, sorry. So, as much as, some of the fan base and some content creators, including myself, are in a bit of a meltdown because of what happened, they have to stay very calm right now. The fans have to stay very calm, and they've got some interesting decisions to make. We were discussing it last night on the AFTV show. Lee Judges was saying he would drop Saliba tomorrow to allow the defence to get ready for the weekend when he doesn't play. And my thing was, if Saliba's available, you play him. Make sure you beat Shakhtar the next first, and then worry about Liverpool. Because imagine dropping Saliba and you lose to Shakhtar. And then people will say, well, Saliba was available and you benched him. I wonder what you guys think about that. Maybe we'll get a poll in. Let's put a poll out for that. Would you start Saliba against Shakhtar with him being suspended for the game against Liverpool? I very much think you have to manage on a game-to-game basis. And I do understand the sentiment. You could say, don't play him and then get somebody used to playing centre-back next to Gabriel. I personally think you have to play him and win the game first and then deal with Liverpool after. Would you start Saliba against Shakhtar tomorrow? And obviously some people were saying in the chat maybe he should get dropped as a bit of a punishment, but I just don't think it warrants that. Listen, I just want to say quickly on Saliba. Saliba let us down on Saturday. And it's not just what happened on Saturday, it's what potentially happens this Sunday, because you don't want to be playing Liverpool without your best centre-back. And I don't think he's been at his best this season. I really don't. I don't think he has. And I really hope it isn't the Real Madrid thing playing on his mind. I think there's a few things. I think there's frustration. Imagine going 50 games in a season. Because that's what it is, 50 games with the Champions League, FA Cup, the league. Imagine playing 50 games, being one of the best teams in the Prem, one of the best teams in Europe, and you're sitting there at the end of the season going, nothing. Not even a cup final, not even a Wembley appearance. Nothing. On the back of the season before, where you got nothing as well. And this is why I keep saying, I think finishing second, although sometimes as a fan base, we look at it as, we're getting closer to Man City and, we're going to get there eventually. That weighs down on you eventually. That pain of not winning eventually weighs you down. And then you're going to play for France, and the French press and the manager, they're very critical as well. And like you said, TV1, we have been here before. And that's why I keep saying, please put pressure on this club to do something, because what we always do, we always make out that the player who leaves is the enemy. He's a snake, he's the enemy. Fabregas, he's a snake, he left us, he went to Barcelona, he went to Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. But we never actually addressed the issue that we weren't doing enough to keep Fabregas at the football club, and Van Persie and these other players, even though some of them did snake us. If you handle business, they're not going to be in a rush to leave. And that's the problem. That's the problem. But he needs to learn. Listen, I love Saliba, but there isn't one player at this football club that is exempt from criticism, right? And there isn't one player at this football club that I'm scared about losing. I'm saying it plain and clear. Saliba, I'm not going to over-exaggerate. I think you're a great player. You've got a massive future. I hope you stay at the football club for a long time. But if your head's getting turned by Real Madrid, you need to either sort your head out or move on. Because I've seen better players than Saliba leave. And this is me being really harsh here. I love Saliba. I don't want Saliba to leave. But I don't want some half-hearted player here either that's thinking, oh my God, Real Madrid is showing an interest in me and getting giddy. Handle your business, bro. We've lost better players than Saliba. So, concentrate properly. It's as simple as that. This football club's bigger than any player, any manager. Saliba, you're great, but everybody can get criticised in this club if they don't do what they should be doing. But also, we've got to give the best environment to try and win trophies. Saliba might be sitting there going, bro, I'm one of the best centre-backs in the world. We didn't have a big enough transfer window. I'm sitting here thinking we ain't going to win anything, and Madrid are telling me they'll sign me in the summer. So it goes both ways. Saliba, you need to focus, but the club, you need to make sure the environment is a winning environment. But the club survives whoever leaves. Simple as that. Guile said, to be honest, I saw this coming, bro. When we didn't get a striker and a 10 and a wide forward, I knew we were cooked. Our attack is lackluster, 100%. We've had a better attack than this attack when we were finishing like 5th and things like that. Like, genuinely. This attack is not that good. At the moment, we got a massive problem on the left wing. Martinelli's super inconsistent. Trossard's not good when he plays off the left. So the left is a huge problem. You then look at Havertz. Havertz has improved a lot, but I'm still not convinced he's the answer as a striker. He's not clinical enough. He's not enough of a gunman. Hasn't scored away from home this season. Doesn't score in enough of the big games, especially away from home. So Saka really is the only one out of the front three that is producing. You know, we had a better attack when we had like Alexis Sanchez, Giroud and Walcott as a front three. Was a more dangerous front three than this. So for the 750 million spent, that attack is not strong enough. That attack should be way stronger than that to say how much money we've spent. And I don't get why we spend all this money and don't sort the attack out. David said, hi, on more waves than Hurricane Milton. I mean, listen, I don't want to joke about a hurricane because I'm sure lives were lost within that. But the guy was just every minute, David Raya. Hi, everyone. Yeah. Hi. Oh, you okay? Yeah, I've just kicked the ball out of play, but sorry, mate. I got engaged on Friday. Oh, well done, David. How about concentrating on the game? Guy said Trossard has caused 2 red cards. Yeah. Back pass got Saliba sent off, kicks the ball away and gets sent off himself. George said, just a thought, can we appeal Saliba's red on the basis that Chelsea's toss-in didn't get sent off for the same foul? That's a good point. That's a good point. That might give us grounds. It would be amazing if we could. Hopefully the club look into that. It's footy, not soccer, said Marino played the ball in for Martinelli. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. He just didn't run for 90 minutes. Augustin said, most of our young fan base have never seen Arsenal move like a champion. I've watched Arsenal since 91 and can tell when we are moving like champs. Also, the issue here is not that we lost, but how. And I say that a lot. It's not all just the young fans, though, but I think because we've been lackluster for so long, it's very easy to get carried away in the fact people think, what are you moaning about? We're in the title race. We've got a very good young team. We've got a good young manager. Things are looking on the up. Be positive, you know. No. The manager's had long enough. He's had enough money, enough time. Where's the silverware? There should at least be a few trophies along this journey. That's what we're here for at the end of the day. And Augustine said, following my previous comment, since the start of the season, we've never looked like a contender. And there is losing and losing. We were professional. Yep, 100%. There's a way of losing. That defeat was embarrassing. It's as simple as that. Let me read a few of your comments. No, Tony has an attitude problem. Maybe we need a winner and an ego and hate to lose. As I said, that whole narrative that they pushed out from Charles Watts, it was absolute nonsense. It was a way out, and the fan base bought into it. They bought into it. The manager that's managed him for the last 4 years, Thomas Frank, said he's got a great attitude. He's had the armband a number of times. Yet Arsenal apparently had a 1-hour meeting with him and said he's got a bad attitude. No, I tell you the problem. They didn't want to put a player in the dressing room that had ego, had personality, might have had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, might have disrupted a few people. Well, guess what? Look back through successful teams. You tell me a player that didn't have a bit of an ego or an attitude. Go and look through the teams that have won trophies over the years. And you tell me they haven't got some sort of personality or attitude. Thierry Henry is arguably the best player we've ever had. Loads of people said Henry had a crazy attitude. moaned at players, sulky personality, argued with people. That's what you get. Wayne Rooney, all of them, they all had them. Maybe we need a few people like that to ruffle a few feathers, to argue back with the manager, to tell people this ain't good enough. But they don't want that. They want a bunch of nice guys that just get along with each other. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Marco said, no pressure on this team, manager or director of football and club due to the current state of fan base. Any criticism is muffled by over-positivity. I'm tired of it. Yeah. You go online and call out the manager, call out the team, call out the owner. The fan base will turn it around on you and say, you're the problem. You're not a real fan. Be positive. You don't do, but you've seen it. That's why I call them grenades. I just drop grenades and I walk away. Like I'm in an action movie, like Bruce Willis. Just throw grenades on Twitter and just walk away. Leave them all scrambling in the comments. I don't even read it. Because I know what they're going to do. Oh, you're not a real fan. Blah, blah, blah. You don't deserve Arteta. Blah. All right, cool. That's what it is. Madrid is the best club in the world. And who wouldn't want to play for that club? City are top draw. Other successful clubs will turn heads. Arsenal struggle to keep us top four isn't a trophy. Let's be honest. If we don't win anything this year and Saliba went to Madrid, who could blame him? Who could really blame him if he went to Real Madrid? Why always me? Problem is a lot of people find footballers a way out of their life stress. And in Arsenal case, any type of winning games are considered. And do you know what? I get that. I 100% get that. Football is an escape for a lot of people. Whether you're playing it, whether you're watching it, it's just that, you know, Monday to Friday grind of work or whatever you got to do. You get to a weekend, you're like, right, yo, let me sit down and watch my team play football. Whether you go to the game, watch it on TV. It's a big part of your week. You know, you even structure your life sometimes around the games. Like, you're like, yo, Arsenal are playing tomorrow night, Champions League, so I'm not going to make plans. I'm going to make sure I watch that game, what TV channel is it on. You structure things around your team, and then when you're seeking that and your team is... So I get it. Some people are just like, yeah, but we win more games than we lose. Just enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and things like that. And I get that. I do get that. But also, I always say this. If you want to call yourself a winning club, a serious club. We call ourselves the Arsenal. We're not just a football club. We're a dynasty of English football. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We've had the best player to ever play in the Premier League, in my opinion, in Thierry Henry. We've won the, you know, Invincibles and Wenger and all that history surrounding us. We can't put ourselves on this pedestal and say we are a giant. And then when it comes to winning and handing out trophies, say, oh, we're just here to be part of it. And, you know, we're just happy that we're competing with Manchester City. That's not how serious clubs move. As I said to Robbie yesterday on that show, everybody talks about Pep, but since Pep's been in this country at Man City, Chelsea have won the Champions League and the Premier League. Liverpool have won the Champions League, Premier League, League Cup and FA Cup in the same time that Pep's been here. So now we're in a state of... Arsenal are a good team now. We need to capitalise and win trophies. We've won one FA Cup since Pep's been it. It's not enough. Sam had said, red cards are down to Arteta. These guys are playing under too much pressure. Let's say Saliba had not even tried and conceded a goal and stayed in the game. We would have come back and scored. Listen, Saliba's made a decision that I think you can see with his body language. He knew straight away he'd got it wrong. Because I'll be honest with you, I would have rather Saliba ran behind Evan Nielsen and Evan Nielsen scored and we went 1-0 down. And we had 11 players on the pitch. I think 1-0 down against Bournemouth, we come back and win with 11 players. Going down to 10 men, we crumbled. But it's a split-second decision. He's reacted, he's got it wrong. And he'll pay the price for it. Rosh said, I'll never subscribe to the taking part. It's all about trophy. That's what we're here for, people. That's why we've got a museum at the ground. That's why we're the Arsenal with all the banners around the stadium. We win. Success. That's what the club thrives on. But I told you, we've been in mediocrity for so long that any little glimmer of positivity is deemed as success, and it's not. Finishing second is not successful for Arsenal. They should be saying, well, why didn't we finish first? What stopped us finishing first? Okay, we'll address that. We need a prolific goal scorer. We need genuine competition for Saka. We need a better left winger. We've lost Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira, so we need another creative midfielder who can compete with Odegaard. That's what we needed in the summer. And we didn't address that. Raheem Sterling as competition for Saka. I mean, is that good enough? Remains to be seen. Striker, we didn't get one. Left winger, we didn't get one. Cover for Odegaard, we didn't sign it. So did we really have a good enough window? Nowhere near, in my opinion. Nowhere near. I gave it a 5. I'd probably give it a 4 now. Listen, before we wrap up, let's finish off with some waffle. Unhappy, angry waffle. We have got a game of football tomorrow. Shakhtar Donetsk. Champions League. And they've got to win. I don't even feel excited about the game. I might be tomorrow when it's match day, but I don't. I'll be honest, I just want to fast forward to the Liverpool game. You know on FIFA where you can just sim the result? I just want to sim the result. I just want to get to Liverpool on Sunday and play that game. But we're here. We got to win it. A lot of players, by the sound of it, have missed training. There's obviously news online that Saka and Urian Timber have not trained, which doesn't sound good because surely they would be training if they were playing tomorrow. So this could be another Arsenal squad with no Saka and no Urian Timber. Maybe he'll save them for the weekend. Obviously, we need him more for the Liverpool game. But then is the team going to be good enough to beat Shakhtar? I don't even know how good Shakhtar are, to be honest. Saka may be out for weeks. I really, really hope not. I'm just having a quick look. Who plays for Shakhtar Donetsk? I actually don't know who plays for them nowadays. I don't. This was obviously... I mean, they're not even top of their league, which you would think they would usually be. They're 4th in the league, so they're not doing that well. I'm just trying to see if anybody plays for them still that we still would... obviously, this was Mudrik's team. They lost 3-0 to Atalanta. No, don't hardly know any of them. I mean, they lost 3-0 to Atalanta at home. They can't be that good. But then I didn't think Bournemouth were that good, and we saw how that went. Let's hear what the manager had to say. Mickey Rose. Coman music. He was actually accompanied in the press conference by Mikel Merino, which usually means that player will start the game, which means Merino might play again. Is he going to play that stinky midfield again? We might get away with it, but we might not. On the message to our players after Bournemouth, very clear, a bit of perspective. Obviously, we want to win in any context. Reality is we made the context very difficult. It was very difficult, the amount of players we had out, the schedule and the games that we had to play, but that's the reality. I'm sorry, that is just a pathetic excuse. The schedule and the games got nothing to do with red cards, my friend. It's got nothing to do with it. For that game, we didn't get away with it. We could have done it. Would have been a difficult narrative. The reality is we didn't. Now, with that context, we've lost one game in 6 months. Okay, now we have to win again with the context that we have lost for the first time in 6 months. And again, listen, it's facts. We've lost once in 6 months. So people will say, Curtis, you're exaggerating. It's one defeat in 6 months. But as I said, people, drawing games in a title race with Manchester City is basically a defeat, especially if it's against a team from outside of the Big Six. So drawing with Brighton at home, in my eyes, is a defeat. You've dropped 2 points. So it's as simple as that. You're up against a monster. You can't drop silly points. On our disciplinary record, playing with 10 men, obviously there's an issue. The truth is you analyse the 3 different actions and the outcome. Regardless of that, we cannot play with 10 men at this level. You see how much struggle it is for teams to win football matches. When you do it with 10 men for 65 minutes, the task becomes impossible. I mean, I still think we shouldn't have lost, but on the availability of Odegaard and Saka, they are close. They are both progressing well. Martin is still not fit with Bukayo. Let's see how he feels today in training. That's all we ever hear, and he hasn't trained. On our first defeat in 17 matches and having to eradicate mistakes, I think we're all aligned. We cannot continue to play with 10 men. That's fine. It's easier to say it than get it done. They are very specific moments. Defeat is part of the game. It happened in specific conditions. Let's skip it. On Shakhtar Donetsk preparations, a lot of sympathy for the situation they're in. Obviously, how can I imagine, especially speaking to Alex Zinchenko, how it affects the situation on yourself, the whole country, your families and the environment. The incredible attitude they're having towards the situation, the things they have to put into place to continue to be able to play football at this level, compete the way they do. It's remarkable. We'll welcome them here tomorrow in the best possible way. Are they actually able to play home games in Ukraine, or are they still playing abroad? On if there is a plan to appeal Saliba's red card, he said, I'll leave that to the club to understand the circumstance, and as well other examples that are clear in the same position. They will have to decide it. Surely they appeal Saliba's red card. Exactly. Playing with 10 men, it's your own choice. You can control that yourself. Apparently they're playing, people saying they're playing in Germany, some people saying they're playing in Poland. Hey, by the way, OG's at 4 o'clock. How am I forgetting to plug the show? OG's at 4 today, not 5. So get over there. Yeah, OG's on Turkish's channel, 4 o'clock, 45 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up after this press conference. Hopefully you won't be asleep by the end of this waffle. On football not being the most important thing in the world, he said, no, clearly not. Yeah, I hear you. On the desire to start another unbeaten run on Tuesday, yeah, we have to start tomorrow. The desire is there. Skip it. On if the team has to change its approach to improve our discipline, he said, I think, for example, what happened in those 3 cases, it's nothing to do with aggression. Everyone's got their own opinion. We want to be competitive. Excuses. How close Timber is to playing, I think he's going to be close. Obviously, we have to see how he deals with training. Blah, blah, blah. He hasn't trained. On the issue, it was a muscular injury. On the consideration when to start Ranieri. Did I just say Ranieri? Ranieri. I think it's identifying moments to understand. Yep, it's blah, blah, blah. He's going to blind you with politician talk. How our midfield were performing before Saliba, it was different. Leo has been playing more central. Yeah, why didn't you play him there? Gabby Martinelli had a calf issue with the national team. He wasn't fit enough to start, especially with what happened last year when we lost 5 or 6 weeks. We didn't want to do that. He then goes on to say there are different and new connections. It's like the first time we played Leo and Kai, I heard a lot of things about whether we were playing for. How Zinchenko's role has changed. He said, yeah, hopefully a big one. Obviously, we need him fit. We don't really. No, we do, but he ain't going to play, is he? How Wilshere could fit into the men's coaching setting. That's a collaboration we had the same. Remember? Yeah, he's on his way out. Anyway, on the difference between coaching the first team and the academy, I'm not even going to read the answer. They barely asked him anything that's even worth listening to. We've just lost to Bournemouth. You're asking him the difference between coaching the academy and the first team. Well, they're teenagers and these are grown men, multimillionaires with massive egos who are supposed to be at the top of their game. How about that? It's a question you don't even really need to ask. Absolute nonsense. Can't stand even reading out that. People, I'll leave it there. Tomorrow's game, I'm not even going to guess the team. What's the point? He'll probably play Marino attacking midfield again. I am actually going to be live tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Usually on a match day, I don't go live, but I'll be live tomorrow at 2 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that. We'll preview the Shakhtar game a little bit more because I haven't really gone into much detail. I want to look at the Champions League group, our fixtures coming up, how Shakhtar have been doing in their team. So we'll go live at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Listen, people, it's 3:20 UK time now. I'll be on OG's at 4 o'clock, so I'll be back in 40 minutes with Turkish. Let me just give you the result of this poll. Should Saliba play? 78% say yes, and I agree with you. The argument was, with Saliba being suspended against Liverpool, should we rest him against Shakhtar in order to get the defence sorted out? But no, I would play him tomorrow, just win the game and move from there. Big up to everyone locked in. I appreciate your support. Hopefully we do not do Arsenal therapy for a long time. If we're doing it next Monday, it ain't Arsenal therapy. It's game over if we get beat by Liverpool. But listen, as I said, go and beat Shakhtar tomorrow. And then the big one against Liverpool this weekend. Hopefully see you all in the chat for OGs in 40 minutes. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe. We lost to Bournemouth. We lost to a beach, people. I can't believe it. I'm off anyway. Take care, everyone. Bless.